Without a doubt, tensions and division is at an all-time high across the Tottenham fan base. Things are starting to get really nasty on social media. The protests are beginning to reappear. People are fighting each other, arguing with each other. There is a lot of disagreement and discontent around the entire club. Most of it to do with Daniel Levy, but a lot of it to also do with Ange Postecoglou. More and more people are losing faith in Tottenham's head coach after another really disappointing result and performance against Liverpool, losing 6-3, holding 6 goals at home at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Absolutely not good enough. But I would say there is a massive divide amongst fans as to whether they are Ange in and whether they are Ange out. More and more fans are becoming disillusioned with the ideas that Ange is trying to implement at the club, but there are still a large handful of people who believe in what he's trying to create at the club and do want to back him. That is including myself. I will be very transparent about it. I am Ange in. I am still willing to give him the time. I'm still willing to be patient and want to see what he can do at Tottenham. I want to see him succeed, and I would rather give the time and the patience and the funding to someone who does prioritise attacking football than someone who is majorly defensive and is just looking to shut up shop and get over the line like we've seen with Conte and Mourinho. That's not me saying that Ange Postecoglou is a better manager than them, but if Tottenham are going to go through a rebuild, I would rather see that dedicated to someone like Ange, who is just going to go for goals and be attacking and dominate. I want to see that in its full flow. I want to see that fully built, but my opinion is that Ange Postecoglou is currently operating with 2 hands and 2 legs tied behind his back. So I want to sort of explain to anybody who's watching, whether you're a Tottenham fan, whether you're not a Tottenham fan, why there is such division around Ange Postecoglou. I will start with the cons. I will talk about what Ange Postecoglou is not doing right, what is not going well at Tottenham, because I can understand people's frustrations around what is happening at the club. The first thing is, we are in our worst league position in the Premier League since 2008, sitting in the bottom half of the Premier League table at Christmas. Haven't had that since Juande Ramos' second season in 2008 where he was sacked. Of course, that is nowhere near good enough. The difference is we are only 5 points off the top 5. It's a very condensed, congested league table this season. So I do think that the league position is being maybe blown out of proportion a little bit. But there is no doubt in Tottenham should never really be sitting in the bottom half of the table with the players that we have. And I can understand why so many people are frustrated. Another thing that people are really annoyed about, we've conceded 13 goals at home in our last 3 games in the league. We've lost 6-3 to Liverpool. We have lost we beat Manchester United 4-3 in the Carabao Cup quarterfinals. Yes, we won that game and we were 3-0 up, but we did still end up conceding 3 goals. So already you've got 9 there. And then you concede another 4 in a 4-3 loss to Chelsea at home in the Premier League. It never seems to be the case that we just lose like a 1-0 or something like that. We always score, and we always score usually a ton of goals. But we are also conceding far too many. Naturally, there's a lot of factors to try and explain this as well, which I will get into. But for context and for a bit of maybe clarification, 13 goals conceded at home in our last 3 games. We conceded 9 at home in a single season under Mauricio Pochettino. When we were at that top level, the best that we modern Tottenham fans have seen, it was 9 goals in an entire season. It might have even been the last season at White Hart Lane. It was an absolute fortress, and there's no doubting that the new stadium is anything but that. Teams love coming to play at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They love playing Tottenham at the moment because they know that they're going to score goals. There's no real atmosphere inside of the stadium. It's all to do with branding. It's all to do with marketing. Squid Game characters running around the outside of the pitch. Shows at half-time. All of that. The atmosphere and the soul of what makes a football club, a tribal, atmospheric football club, is not currently present at Tottenham Hotspur. And, you know, it's very, very difficult to get your players to step up to that level against a team like Liverpool when there is no atmosphere to gee them on. 8 league losses already as well. 8 points off the Champions League places. It is way below the standards of the likes of Fulham, Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest and how they are all operating at the moment. We are not as good as those teams. It's a simple fact. We are not as good as those teams above us in the Premier League at the moment. 8 league losses, not even at the halfway point of the season. Again, that should not be the case. It definitely should not be the case. We are losing far too many games. In the month of December, we rank basically last for the following stats, which is shots faced, goals conceded, chances given up, mistakes in the defensive third. It is very worrying, and you can only put that so far down to injuries and down to the players that we have missing. Naturally, it's a huge thing. We're missing Vicario, we're missing Romero, we're missing Van der Ven, we've been missing Udogie. 4 of our strongest back 5, if you include the goalkeeper, have been missing for the last few games. So I know people will come back and say, yes, but these players played against Ipswich, they played against Palace, and we still lost those games. Yes, we did. And this is what I mean. Ange is not blame-free, but there is perspective to a lot of the points that I am talking about in this video. It is one style only. We do go all out attacking. We play gung-ho for every single game, every minute, regardless of the competition, regardless as to who is on the pitch. And it is naive. And should adapt. He should have a plan B, a plan C. I do think every world-class manager should have this. But he doesn't. And while it's really frustrating for me as someone who wants Ange to succeed to see, I would still rather the one plan that he has to be to attack and to just go for it all the time rather than have to sit in. Like, realistically, be honest with me in this and let me know in the comments if you disagree. If we had parked the bus against Liverpool on Sunday, we probably would have lost the game 3-0 or something instead of 6-3. And I'm not saying that it's a good scoreline. It's never great. Well, it's never acceptable to concede 6 goals at home. But I do just think it is one of those. Liverpool are the best team in the league, best team in the country, probably in Europe at the moment. They've lost once under Arne Slot, and their squad is a million times better than ours, more competitive than ours. So it's really frustrating, but I just feel like there is somewhat explanations to this as well. We have lost to Palace, we have lost to Ipswich, we did draw to Leicester, and these results aren't good enough, but it happens. Unfortunately, it happened under Conte, it happened under Mourinho, it happened under Nuno, it's happening under Ange, maybe a bit more frequently, but it's always happened at Tottenham. It's a mentality thing, it's ingrained in the club rather than the manager, and we score the goals to win the games, but the defence is frail, the fullbacks are too aggressive, there are too many gaps in behind us, but I'm hoping that the January transfer window is going to allow Ange to fix that. We need a number 6. We need another centre-back. We need a goalkeeper. Really important areas to address in the January transfer window. And that's why I like to focus more on the pros for having Ange Postecoglou at the club. I've talked about the negatives, and those are the reasons why fans want Ange out, why lots of people have lost faith in him, and I completely respect those with that opinion. Let me know what you are down in the comments. Are you Ange in or are you Ange out? These are the pros. Tottenham are the top scorers in the Premier League. We score so many goals. Ultimately, scoring goals wins you games. Yes, you have to have the balance. Yes, it's not been good enough at the back, but we are good in attack. We're fluid in attack. We are excellent. No team in the league can stop us in that sense as well. He's only had 18 months. And some of you might sit there and think, well, this is ridiculous. You're watching this. He's saying he's 18 months. That's a year and a half. That's long enough. It's not. It's not for a rebuild. It simply isn't. And I've talked about this in previous videos. Other managers, it took longer than that to get them to tick. Think about how bad Arsenal and Chelsea have been over the last few years. And only in recent years for Arsenal and this season for Chelsea is it finally starting to click. Because patience, they were given time. 18 months. We sack a manager every 18 months on average. Under Daniel Levy, a manager is sacked every 18 months. What is the point in starting the cycle again? We've started building, we've started providing players for Ange Postecoglou's project. What is the point in tearing that up and starting again? Who's even available? Who's out there? Andoni Iraola, is a lot of people are saying, he's not going to leave Bournemouth mid-season. It's not going to happen. And at the moment, Tottenham aren't better than Bournemouth. Bournemouth is sitting 5th in the Premier League. They're doing incredibly well. We need to give him the time. It's as simple as that. If we want to see something through and see the best of what Ange Postecoglou can do, sacking him now is not the answer. That is just my opinion anyway. We're also in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. I know we've got to play Liverpool and then potentially Arsenal in the final. The cups are different. You always got to believe that you can win the cups. You always do. We're a couple of games away from Wembley. We've not been in the semi-final of a cup competition since 2021 and Ange has got us there. Yes, it might have been a bumpy road along the way, but we're there. We're still in the Europa League. We've got a nice first draw in the FA Cup as well. So there's opportunity there. If we won the Carabao Cup this season but finished in the bottom half, if you had asked every single Spurs fan at the start of the season whether they would take that, the answer would be yes. It would be yes. Until yesterday, Tottenham had the third best goal difference in the league. Only 2 teams had conceded less goals than Tottenham until yesterday. We've picked up big wins against City, United, Villa, Everton, like big wins. We win our games by 3 or 4 goals. We lose the majority of our games, Liverpool aside, by the odd goal. So we're just missing that little bit, that little click, that little bit of solidity, that bit of consistency. And I really do believe that Ange can give us that. Just continue to back him. Let him bring some more players in January and the summer. If we're still rubbish next season and we've still made no progress, then I will get on board with that. But I just cannot at the moment. So the conclusion for me is there is still a large majority of people that want to give him time because we've seen the alternative and it never worked. We've seen the defensive shapes. We've seen the mix of maybe a little bit of both. It doesn't work no matter who the manager is. The problem is never the manager. It's above that. Spend the money on players. Get the fans on side. Let us create an atmosphere inside the stadium. We don't care about the marketing and the branding. We want to see our team win football matches, win silverware, and enjoy our time inside the stadium. The football has to be the priority. And it isn't. It's so much bigger than the manager. So much bigger. Most people are impatient. They don't want to wait to see the success. We want the rebuild. We want the success at the end of it, but we don't want the patience in between. We don't want to go through the rough times. I understand that, but that's not how it works. It's really not how it works. Ange is far from perfect. He is far from perfect. He's not a world-class manager. Okay, I'm happy to admit that. He is stubborn in his play. You cannot discount from the injury crisis. Archie Gray at centre-back, Fraser Forster in goal. January is incredibly important. Let's stop letting the establishment win. Let's stay on the side of the manager because the easy option is for Daniel Levy to just sack the manager and start again. And fans, the anger goes. The anger goes. It's one of the big reasons why I'm sticking with Ange, even though the results are poor at the moment. Let's not take the pressure off the top. The pressure needs to be there to help us deliver. It's so important as to why I'm willing to give it my whole attention with Ange Postecoglou. I want him to succeed so badly. Will anyone succeed under the current ownership? I'm not sure. I really am not sure. But if I want it to be someone, I want it to be Ange Postecoglou. I think there are still a lot of pros to keeping him at the club. There are a lot of cons, there are a lot of negatives, absolutely, and I talked about that first off. But I think he will succeed. And I'm willing to, talk to anyone about that. Social media has been horrible since the game yesterday. There are some really nasty people online who will bring you down, who will talk to you like you're scum of the earth, like you're nothing. But you have to stand your ground. And ultimately, we all want the same thing at the end of the day, which is for our club to succeed. So let's try and band together. The division is at an all-time high, but let's try and band together. Let's see what we can achieve this season under Ange. Changing the manager mid-year, Ryan Mason in charge till the end of the season. Do we want that? I don't think any of us do. So why not just give it a chance? Give it more than 18 months for once. Let me know what you think. Are you Ange in? Are you Ange out? Let me know in the comments. Have a wonderful Christmas, all of you who are watching. I'll be back with something around the Forest game on Boxing Day, I'm sure. But yeah, don't forget to like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Enjoy your week. And as always, come on, you Spurs.